Hi, my name is Gil Robertson, president of the African American Film Critics Association. Today, I am extraordinarily pleased to introduce you to Jacqueline Stewart, the Chief Artistic Director, Programming Director for the new Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. Good morning, Jacqueline.
Good morning, Gil. It's great to see you.
Good seeing you as well. So let's kick things off by you telling us about your role. First, give us the official title, because I just kind of piece that together.
No, I'm the Chief Artistic and Programming Officer. And in that role, I oversee the content of the museum, the curatorial team, all of our education and public programming, our film programming, and we're also a publisher. We're publishing catalogs based on our exhibitions, and that's part of my area as well.
My God. Now, I know you mostly as an academic from the University of Illinois in Chicago. So tell me, how did you make the leap from being an academic, from being a scholar, into this new role at the Academy Museum?
Great question. You know, I always consider myself to be a scholar, and this feels like a space where I just have a much bigger classroom and a much bigger set of archives. You know, the Academy has been collecting film-related materials since it was founded in the 1920s. The Margaret Herrick Library is a part of the Academy. The Academy Film Archive has been operating for decades. So to have all of that material at our disposal, you know, not just film prints, but also scripts and photographs. And now the museum is collecting physical objects, costumes, and, you know, prosthetics used for makeup and equipment used for filmmaking. To me, it was just an expansion of the film historical scholarship that I had already been doing. And then, Gil, as you know, I've been a host on Turner Classic Movies since 2019. And that was also a way to really think about how to share the details of film history with a broader audience. I'm always excited about getting people to ask new questions about film history, to share films with people that they weren't familiar with before. And so this is just feels like a natural way to expand that work I've been doing for a long time.
And that you've been doing so well. So you're just sharing your talents in a different environment. And by the way, with a much larger audience.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I hope so. That's certainly my hope. And, you know, people often assume that in my role at the Academy Museum, that I'm the one who's bringing a lot of our focus on inclusion and diversity. But I have to say, it's not that I'm bringing it. It was already part of that project. And that's why I felt that it could be a space where I could really be part of a team that really wants to take those issues seriously. Because as we know, there are so many filmmakers who have not been recognized, aspects of the field, people of color, you know, the contributions of women, issues of equity in all kinds of ways. The Academy has been called out about those things. And so the museum is a space where 365 days a year, we're engaging the public. And I wanted to be a part of that conversation.
And you're leading the team, the curational team there is all female.
Mostly
so was that by accident?
Mostly female. There are a couple of guys on that team. Yeah, the LA Times did a beautiful portrait of the curatorial team. It is led by a woman, Doris Berger, and it is predominantly women. What can I say? I mean, that team is comprised of some of the most brilliant film curatorial minds, and I think it's a beautiful thing that it happens that it's mostly women. I think we also see that's one of the reasons why issues of gender equity come up so frequently across the ways that we think about creating exhibitions. One example I would love to share is that one of the opening moments in the museum is an area called Significant Movies and Movie Makers, where we look at 6 cases of, you know, important films and film artists. So Citizen Kane is there. Oscar Micheaux, the pioneering Black filmmaker, is there. Thelma Schoonmaker is there, Martin Scorsese's longtime editor. They've been collaborating for over 50 years. She's won several Academy Awards. So it was really important to us to think about the range of films that we consider significant. And I don't know that in, kind of conventional film historical approaches, we would have seen that range were it not for the, the interest and the deep passion of this curatorial team.
I mean, you've been so busy lately. I see that you recently received the MacArthur Fellowship Scholar. So
Yeah.
tell us about that.
Oh my gosh. Well, it was a shock to learn that I was named a MacArthur Fellow just a couple months ago. Incredible honor. It means that I get some resources to really think about the next stages of my work. And I can do that like on my own time, which is amazing because usually when you get a fellowship, you're under the gun to do a project, to define it right away. So I'm really excited that I can really use this experience that I'm having at the museum and, to be out here in Los Angeles where you can have such regular interaction with people who make films and generations. We have people coming into the museum who will say, my dad worked on this film or my uncle created this object, or this process. So I'm just really kind of soaking up all this knowledge that I'm really privileged to, be in a space where all of it is being shared. And I know that this museum experience is going to help me figure out what I hope will be an impactful project with that fellowship.
I have no doubt. And of course, you continue your role with TCM.
That's right. Yes, yes. So I still host Silent Sunday Nights on TCM. We're planning a really robust program of films that we'll talk about for Black History Month this year. For TCM fans, it's rare to be able to recognize Black History Month on TCM because the Oscars have always been in February and it's given over to the 31 days of Oscar programming. But because of the shifts in schedule, that means that February now is a time where we can recognize that really important holiday. It's like a month-long holiday. And I'm now shooting my segments at the museum, which is really great, so that we can use the exhibitions and
The
the
backdrop.
histories there as the backdrop for that programming. So I'm really, really excited about that.
So what can we look forward to in the coming months at the museum?
Well, we are doing film screenings 7 days a week. We're not only a museum of exhibitions, but also of programming. Right now, we have a series that is honoring Haile Gerima, pioneering Ethiopian director, part of the LA Rebellion movement of Black independent filmmakers who studied with Charles Burnett and Julie Dash. We've been recognizing him and the many students that he has trained over the years. He's been teaching filmmaking at Howard University. So that's one of the many, many series. Sajid Rai, Jane Campion, these are filmmakers that we're doing retrospectives on. We have programming every Sunday, Oscar Sundays, where we're showing films that have been nominated or won Academy Awards. So that programming is ongoing. We have a lot of education programs that we're hosting, community days. So, over the coming months, we're really learning a lot about our audiences. There are people who are obviously local Angelenos, but then people are coming from all across the country and all around the world. I'm really thrilled that one of the exhibitions that's going to come next year, it's been in the planning for several years now, focuses on African-American filmmaking. So it's called Regeneration, Black Cinema 1898 to 1971. And it's going to open in September of 2022. I hope folks will just start now to make their plans to come because this is going to be the largest exhibition ever mounted that focuses on the origins of Black filmmaking and really looks at the way that Black artists have used film as a tool in the larger project of Black liberation. So thinking about filmmaking during the 1920s and 30s, but also during the civil rights era, and what that set up for what we then saw in the 1970s. So it's just going to be spectacular. And there'll be a lot of programming that we do in relation to that exhibition.
Wow, well, it definitely sounds like the museum, it's been a long time coming, but now that it's here, it's certainly going to offer the types of experiences that what one can only imagine. Jacqueline, thank you so much for your time. I wish you everything, the best of luck in your new role. And we'll be talking to you again soon.
I hope so, Gil. It's always great to see you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely.